Okay, I have a little bit of energy left for the Trimet Puppets meeting. I'm telling you, these dispatch calls are just unbelievable. It's just every single day, every single call, almost every call is some kind of mad drama. It's like unbelievably bad out there, and I don't know. It's worse. It's worse and worse because not only is it bad by itself, but then all these people are being banned from taking the transit, which means anger rises in the people being left behind, which then leads to incidents of violence. So, I mean, we're in a vicious cycle here. People that are left behind because they're biohazards, they're not allowed to ride. I've always wondered what happens to those people. I mean, in this country, there's no help for those people. They're basically, I don't know how they survive. They've shit their pants. There's no way to get home. How do you clean yourself up if you can't get to some place where you can clean yourself up? It's just sad watching this shit show. It's just unbelievably sad seeing how bad things really are out there, and all these drivers are on the front lines of it. And thank God I'm not here. I left 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago now, and it was already getting bad, but now it's just a whole nother level. I mean, I've been listening to the scanner for probably around 13 years now. I listened to it for a few years before I left, and I left Trimet because of the scanner. Those of you who were around, they were putting pressure on me. I was violating what was at the time HR 202. I was posting scanner calls, and they said I was violating HR 202, which meant I couldn't record anybody without their express permission, and they said that includes the scanner. So anyway, that's one of the reasons I snuck out the back door there. Anyway, it's just unbelievable. I don't know. I really think it's the most dangerous job you can have right now. It's more dangerous than a cop because a cop can at least shoot you. You're just a sitting duck as a bus driver. You need to keep your mouth shut and drive. Don't say anything. I mean, just don't confront anybody. It's just bad. It's just bad. Now let's watch the little piece of this meeting here. I don't have that much energy, but we'll watch the Portland area elites congratulate themselves and serve the needs of the other Portland area elites and ignore the actual transit system, because this whole Trimet organization is basically a criminal organization as far as I'm concerned. In the same way, every governmental organization is a criminal organization. It steals from the many, which are all the taxpayers, and it gives that money to the few. Yes, there are drivers and mechanics that get money. They do profit from that. But most of the big money, the real money, goes to capital projects, and that's how all the elites steal from the taxpayers. It's through capital projects money. And if you look at Biden's infrastructure bill, it's all capital projects. It's all going to go to corporations that build shit. It's not going to go to people. It's Biden has been a complete failure as far as I'm concerned, and he's just getting worse by the day. The Democrats are setting up for a Republican landslide in 2024, and we will be in full-blown fascism at that point. And 40% of the people, maybe 50%, actually want a Christian fascist country. So hold on, folks. It's coming. Now let's listen to a little bit of the elites. I mean, these people are just not, it's hard to watch them because they're so disconnected from the reality of what's going on in average America. It's just frustrating to have to listen to them. At least there's one good thing about this meeting. This is the end of Bruce Warner, and he has been a nightmare for the riders and for the operators, and he was there. He supported McFarlane with all of his evil shit he did. Those of you who weren't there then don't know any of this. Well, guess what? I know it all. I've been watching this shit every day for years. 15 years I've been following this stuff daily. And you don't remember what McFarlane did to us and how he He violated court orders. He went against judges. He did whatever he wanted. He cut the fair with square. He raised the fares. He cut our insurance. He cut our health insurance. He did all this evil shit to us. And that was all supported by Bruce Warner. I would say the worst director probably the worst director of all time. And he was installed by Kitzhaber as the chairman of the board. He came in from the outside and took over the chairmanship because, he's the insider's insider. He is connected to all of the Portland elites. And he's the real power there. He's the one that kept the general manager going. So they're going to celebrate him and give him all these kudos. They're going to do the usual elite dick-sucking thing, You're so great. You're fantastic. We have to listen to that. This is how they do. This is like, like listening to the squad, let's say, from the Democrats, fawning over how great Biden is doing when we know Biden is a fraud, a fake, and he can't think. He's senile. He needs to be in a nursing home. But yet they'll just give you what they want you to hear. They're never going to tell you the truth. They only give you what they want you to hear. And people can't see through this facade, apparently. Very few people can understand what's actually going on. So let's get this going. Come on. Is it going? 28. Where is it? It's the last time I have to look at him. Thank God. Is there any sound? Are you just looking? What's happening? My sound's on. Is this sound on? Let's see. Check the sound. Sound is on.
Mike for the first participant, and I'm going to...
All right, here we go.
We provide 45 minutes before our normal board meeting to allow...
Yeah, now let me give them a little kudo here, okay? I don't like doing that, but I watched one of the VTA board meetings. VTA is where they had the mass murder. And they gave the public 1 minute, and they cut them off. They cut them off in mid-sentence. They cut them right off in mid-sentence. If their 1 minute was up, they turned off your microphone and went right to the next person. The most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've read some tweets from various people involved with that agency. And apparently, they treat the public like shit, and the management of the VTA treats the people that are employed, the union people, like shit. And now you have a mass murder. And that board, the chairman of the board, get up there and did this fucking crying act. I'm almost 100% sure it was an act. He doesn't care. Who the hell is he? He doesn't know any of these people. But I mean, this is what happens, okay? These transit districts are fucking awful, man. They're fucking top-down agencies. They treat everybody below the elites as garbage. Just like we see everywhere in our society now. Everything runs for the elites, and the rest of us are out. We don't count to them whatsoever. They don't care if we end up dead. It's that simple. We are nothing to them. Nothing. We are nothing to the elites of this country. This country is owned and operated by these psychopathic elites who only care about themselves and their associates, and the rest of us are nothing to them. And it's just unbelievable to watch how badly they are treating us and how much we just take it, man. We just, as a public, we just take this abuse day after day after day, and we just take it lying down. I don't know how the elites are able to brainwash the public to such a degree. It's just shocking to me.
People to testify on items on the agenda or anything else of interest or concern that the board of directors needs to hear about Trimet. And at the end, in the general manager comments, if there's questions or things that we can answer, we'll try to get a response to you then, or steer you to the right person. So with that, I'm going to start the public forum. And Jeff, do you want to open up the mic for the first participant? And I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to limit the testimony to 3 minutes. I'm going to ask Jeff to also put the timer up so everybody does have.
At least over here, they don't just cut you off. They let you go on. At VTA, they just cut off your mic after 1 minute. I couldn't believe the total lack of respect for the public at VTA. Is it any wonder that you ended up with a mass shooting over there? Not really. Of course, the mass shooter shot innocents instead of the people that create the problem. But that's a whole nother subject. But I mean, you just treat people like shit. Eventually, you get one that cracks, and that's how it is in the society now. It could be a mass shooting anywhere.
Have a chance to participate. It looks like we'll have lots of time. So Jeff, go ahead.
Great. So first up is going to be Thomas Craig. Thomas, I've unmuted your microphone.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Thomas Craig. I'm a lifelong Portlander who lives near Columbia Park, just off the line 75, which is your best bus line in my humble opinion. I have a request and a short story.
That's Rippy's bus line. Rippy, 75. He loves them. Let's see what he says.
Okay.
My request is that you consider adapting your board meeting process just slightly to ensure that board meeting agendas are released 6 days in advance of monthly meetings by the Thursday prior to the meeting. This is slightly longer in advance than the 4-day requirement of your bylaws, but as 2 of those days are weekend days, the current 4-day requirement provides only 2 business days of time to consider upcoming.
Well, the Trimet board is a secret society. They don't publicize these meetings anywhere on social media. Trimet tweets them from an account that has like 50 followers when their main account has 50,000. And that's obviously done on purpose. That's intentional. They do that intentionally so that people don't know there's a meeting going on.
Agenda items. Opal's Bus Riders Unite recently moved its meetings a week earlier to the Thursday prior to the monthly board meeting, and this slight adjustment to your schedule would help us coordinate, consider, and offer you improved feedback at these meetings.
Oh, thank you. That's a good comment.
My story takes place a few years in the future. In 2026 or so, a single mother of 2 young children who cares deeply about the environment and who has family in the region is considering moving here, in part because of our reputation as a green city. She flies into PDX with her children and first heads to her cousin's house in Gladstone. She likes the new Max Red Line station at PDX and is glad she doesn't need to rent a car for the trip. After a short time on the train, she plans to transfer to the Green Line at Gateway, but upon alighting from the Red Line, she's a bit confused at first. There's no other train platforms around. She sees it now, down there. With her kids in tow, one in a stroller and the other by the hand, she walks more than a football field down to the other platform and after a wait transfers to the Green Line. They're on their way now. The transfer at Clackamas Town Center breaks their stride once again, though. After another football field's walk, but this one down a long ramp of switchbacks, that puts them next to the bus stop, where they wait about 20 minutes for the bus. Her toddler is getting pretty ornery at this point, but she's prepared and brought extra snacks. She's also a bit ornery and also eats a snack. The next day, they're ready to visit a friend in the area she's considering buying a house in Sullivan's Gulch. Yesterday was a bit harrowing, and the morning started off a bit frantic, so she gives them a lift ride to Clackamas Town Center to avoid waiting over 30 minutes for the next bus, but plans to ride transit from there. The trip on the Green Line back north is easy, but at Hollywood Transit Center, where she plans to transfer to the 77, she gets a bit confused again. The train lets her off on a platform next to a freeway, and she follows signs to an elevator which turns out to be broken down, baby and thankfully a light foldable stroller in her arm and toddler behind. She gets up the stairs and sees another football field and a half in front of her leading to the bus stop. And when she gets to that bus stop, she finds there's a 4-lane road clogged with traffic to cross before she and her kids can board the 77. It's about this time that she realizes that this may not really be a green region. And as she rides the 77 the next mile, she's looking up housing prices in Austin on her phone. Today might be a good day to ask more questions about the Better Red project.
Okay, so now he's out of time. Now, if this were VTA, they just cut your. They're not gonna do that here. They're not gonna just cut off their microphone. Okay, in San Jose, they just cut you right off, which means they don't want to hear from you at all. I mean, they don't want. Trimet doesn't want to hear from you either, but at least they're not openly disrespectful to their public.
And ask whether the stories we're writing today are the ones we want to listen to tomorrow.
Right.
Thank you.
Anyway, that was, why are you doing Better Red? You don't even have your fucking bus service back to normal. And I mean, I wrote up on my blog all the pork. There's hundreds of millions of dollars going out the door today in pork. And the bus service is not restored yet. This is what's going on everywhere in this country right now. The elites are stealing it all, and they don't care about the people at all. And these people, this board, all the Trimet executive staff, all the manager staff are all puppets of the elites. They're not there for you.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, next up is Clary Kennard. Clary, you're unmuted.
Clary?
Good morning. My name is Clary Kennard.
Kennard.
I'm a member of ATU 757, and I've worked for the Lyft Central Dispatch and Lyft Region 1 for 14 years until the pandemic last year and Trimet shut our yard down. I'm speaking to the board today to demand you commit to the reopening of Region 1 and Region 2 by September.
So they're not even, oh my God. So the Trimet Lyft yards are not even open. See, this is it. This is what's going on here. They're funding all the pork barrels, and all the real service is just left hanging. This is what you get. This is what you get as an American citizen now. You get a corrupt government making sure that the corrupt elements of government get funded while everybody else does not.
When unemployment extensions are exhausted and more citizens are vaccinated. Region 1 is the oldest region in the program with the most experienced drivers, and these shutdowns occurred without regard for experience and seniority.
Yeah.
Trimet consistently disregards the loyalty and security of the employees who support the most vulnerable in our community.
No, they don't. No, they don't care about you. Don't you know that? They'd have you in house if they put you subcontracted you so they wouldn't have to deal with you. You know, these are criminals, okay? In the sense of the legal system is set up so that they can steal from us. They're not going to give you anything. They're going to steal. That's what they do.
COVID has been no exception. Trimet's current plan is to bring Region 1 back last when we carry the most senior members. Region 2 is running at partial capacity, mostly grocery runs, and drivers are not assigned more work than a few grocery deliveries, then sent home, which is not enough to live on.
Yeah.
COVID is a mass disabling event. Pre-pandemic, Lyft averaged 6,000.
See, they lied about, well, nobody got laid off, they said, Trimet, man. We made sure, they forgot about the Lyft drivers. They lied, just like they do. They just lie. They just lie to us. Just like Biden lies, just like Trump lies, just like they all lie.
Rides a day or more. 10 years ago, when we averaged 4,000 rides a day, the regions couldn't keep up with demand and often didn't meet contract goals for on-time performance, regardless of how numbers had been massaged to reflect otherwise. Even at partial capacity, we can utilize drivers at all regions to the betterment of the program, with Trimet's intent to retain grocery runs and increase eligibility numbers as more of the public need our service due to COVID disability. Region 1 and Region 2 need to be moving towards reopening. Thank you.
Thank you, Clary. But maybe Sam could talk on that, about that general manager's comments, because I think I'm really not familiar with the Region 1.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Sam for a minute, too. Yeah, I was the only one that got upset by that fraudulent recruitment process. I mean, it was a fraud, okay? The whole thing was done in secret. All the executive boards, it was all done in executive session. It was all kept behind so the public couldn't see any of it. But somehow they got the nonprofits in line to say it was all transparent and all wonderful. I mean, here they are. These idiots are writing up, well, tell us what are the characteristics of the new general. They went all that trouble, and what they ended up with was the same guy that was already there. So in other words, all that was just window dressing lie, okay, because you got Sam, okay, you already knew who Sam was. But yet you went to all this trouble to pretend you're going to hire somebody. That was all a fake bullshit recruitment. Now, from our point of view, it doesn't matter who the general manager. That person's irrelevant to us. It's irrelevant. That the mainstream media will try to make it sound like somehow the general manager is important. He's not. He's nothing. He's a figurehead. He's like a president. He doesn't. He has no. They're not anything in relation to the public. They're not going to help us. So it doesn't matter whether it was Sam or somebody else. It's the same bullshit no matter who it is. But I mean, I resent the fake recruitment, and I'm the only one that does. It's just amazing how they get away with this shit year after year after year, and nobody says a word. The mainstream media is nowhere. Of course, they're nowhere. Nobody covers this. It's just some obscure blogger covering this mess here.
one in Region 2, so maybe we just get an update on that, if you would, Sam.
Will do. Thank you, President Moore.
Okay. Next speaker.
All right, our last raised hand so far is Ethan Jones. Ethan, you are unmuted.
Hello, I'm Ethan Jones. I'm from Forest Grove, and for 21 years we've been asking, the city of Forest Grove has been asking for the max to come out here, and we've...
Well, I'm sure they'll give it to you if they can find the money to do it. I suppose if I mean, you have good bus. You have 57. It used to run good. I don't know what it's doing now. It used to have good bus service there. What's the problem? What do you want What do you want the train for? I mean, what's the big deal? Just take the fit. It's not like Forest Grove is a huge city.
Constantly done so, and we have nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
We all know that the bus isn't the same as the train. It's slower. It's less effective at what it needs to do, which is bringing people around this amazing green area that we've advertised.
What?
So that's a problem I see not just here in Forest Grove and Cornelius, but in pretty much all of the entire Trimet system. We have this mentality of, if they come, we will build it. But we all know it's, if we build it, they will come. And so it's very disappointing to see that we're not actually taking the initiative to get these big expansions that could not only expand the money that Trimet has for these massive projects and for maintaining what they already have, but they aren't making something that could actually get more people riding transit, which is actually making transit go places where people want to go.
What the hell?
Like a west to McMinnville, or something that skips downtown and goes to Tiger. There's a lot of these things that need to be addressed before we can actually have a good transit system. And I think
What are you talking about?
I've ridden the maps my whole life, going to Portland with my grandparents, but I think people really do need to see what changes can be made, and that we can do amazing things.
God.
But we actually have to start by doing them, not waiting for someone to say, oh, we need this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. This is Bruce Warner. I just want to let you know my district is the district you're residing in the Trimet system. And there's been a lot of discussion about how best to provide transit service out there. And I think you hit on the issues. Light rail is very expensive. We try to provide the best service we can. And I'll guarantee you there's a lot of areas in the region that would like to have light rail extended to them. The good news is,
And there's a lot of areas that don't want it either.
is that Forest Grove has a rail line that goes from Hillsboro all the way to Forest Grove, and so when the time is right, that can be provided quite easily at less cost than we would in other places. But
My thing is,
Ethan, I'm sorry, I didn't want to get into a debate on it. I just want to let you know that
Okay.
we're aware of it. We know about it. I understand the needs, and we are trying our best to provide the
Believe me, if Trimet could build it, they would. I mean, it's a light rail mafia run agency. They just don't have the money for that.
best service we can out there.
You know, it's like $200 million a mile or something to install light rails. Ridiculous. It's absurd.
And I don't think light rail is in the cards for a number of years. I want to be honest with you on that one.
Not for that. Not for Forest Grove. No.
So, Jeff, are there other people that need to speak to us this morning?
I do not see any more raised hands today. So that appears to be it.
All right, thank you. Well, with that, I'm going to close the public forum. I am seeing still we're deficient a few board members here. Is Director Edwards with us now?
Director Warner, both Director Edwards and Director Simmons are trying to get in. Kim Angove and Jeff are working with them. So they're present, they're just trying to get in.
The population in Forest Grove is 21,000. It's tiny. You know, there's nobody there.
I guess we do have our committee reports that we can provide right now. What's the board think? You want to give a couple more minutes to see if we can get people to get signed in here before we move forward? We do have enough. I think we have a quorum, so we could open the business meeting, but I don't want to see people miss some of these this information. So I'm going to give another 5 minutes here, if that's okay.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm fine with giving the CAT report, but I'll
Let's
defer
wait
to the
5
rest of
minutes
the
here,
group.
see if we can get another member or two here, if you don't mind, Director Brown.
Nobody's showing up.
Sure.
Who's there? What
I will do, however, is I will call the regular business meeting for June 23rd, 2021 of the Trimet Board of Directors to order. So we've got that taken care of. Let's get started.
Yippee, yippee doodle. Well, start it already. Move it. Come on, it's all day here. I gotta get going. Just move it along.
This is why I want the President-elect Simmons to take over here in another week and run these meetings.
Yeah, I'm sure you're sick of it, but
It's done well, but occasionally we do have a hiccup with the technology.
you think they would know what they're doing by now.
Week, June 16th, there were 3 noteworthy items at the meeting. First, Brenda Martin and Ben Baldwin from Service Planning discussed the Southwest Alder project, and that is the project relating to the relocation of bus line 15 downtown from Southwest Salmon to Southwest Alder. The board voted on that change a couple of months
We have
ago.
another picture.
The issue discussed with the CAT was where
And we're also partnering with many members of our Transit Equity Advisory
Get back
to be finalized. So they had knowledge right up until
what is this?
the day of June 8th.
Edwards for taking over as the board liaison to CAT.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Director.
These board
Brown.
reports
Thank you for
are
your service on
ridiculous.
this committee. I know you have some passion for it, so it's appreciated you're there. We're looking forward to keep taking over your role. Are there questions or comments for Director Ballin on the Committee on Accessible Transportation?
These committees are just ridiculous, useless, nothing. So we don't really care about it. I should just skip them. Let's see here. Can we go? Let's just skip these.
To be finalized. So they had.
Sorry, Ozzy, I don't care about you.
So that was an exciting update. And then Emily Reed from Columbia Gorge.
I don't want to hear that. We don't care about your board report.
Members to join that committee. So you can find out about that through Trimet online, or if you are affiliated with any of the TIAC community partners.
Oh, shit.
Thank you very much, Director Gonzalez. I appreciate your very thorough report. And again, thank you for your service on that committee, a very important committee. And you're right, we'll look forward to Director Wade stepping in and taking over as the liaison for that committee. Are there questions or comments for Director Gonzalez on the TIAC report?
No, who cares?
I'm not hearing any. I did get a note, though, that we have a staff person, Jeff Owen, who is ready and was planning on giving a report on the Metro Policy Advisory Committee for Director Way. So, Jeff, are you on the line and unmuted?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, Board President, members of the board.
Who is he?
Here on behalf of Director Y this morning. There were two main updates at the last NPAC meeting. It occurred on May 26th. The first item of discussion was updates from local jurisdictions on the 2018 urban growth boundary expansion areas, and specifically their work on increasing the supply of housing.
Who cares?
Is vehicle mile.
Who cares?
Happy to tackle any questions.
Who cares? Moving along.
Obviously, since we normally would approve the budget in May, but we moved it to June because of the settlement with the union contract. It allowed us to true up certain information within the budget having to do with the settlement, some capital projects issues, and some, contract kinds of issues. So it's all in your board packet. That was the only thing that we covered today. However, I have another important matter to bring before the board this morning. Today marks a significant milestone for a member of the board.
Oh.
I want all of us.
Oh, here we go. Here comes okay, we got to cue up the hero worship. Let's cue it up, folks. We know what's coming, right? This fucking Warner is getting the hell out of here. It's about goddamn time. Thank God, man. I'm so sick of him. Cue up. We got to cue up the... Where is it? Hold on. Cue it up. Cue it up. Where is it?
To take a moment to recognize and honor this individual for their dedication and longstanding commitment to this governing body, this agency, to the riders and the region.
The riders.
Following nearly 9 years.
It's 9.5 years, Simmons. 9.5 years. She even got that wrong.
Years of dedicated service on this board, representing residents of Washington County and advocating for all within the Tri-County region.
See, listen to this. Listen to this shit. Listen to this shit. I've watched almost every meeting. I stopped watching them for a while because I couldn't stomach this advocate. Listen to this shit. Listen to this bullshit. Listen to her shoveling the shit here.
And at the pleasure of two governors, Director Bruce Warner's tenure as
installed by Kitzhaber, who was booted out for his corruption, and he put him in there to get rid of the other guy because he wanted a crony that knew how to run things, and that's why they could put him in there. And Kitzhaber is disgraced.
Trimet board member, and as its president, is coming to an end.
Thank God.
Today marks his last board meeting.
Thank heaven.
Bruce, you know you're going to be missed.
Fuck
Your
no!
leadership has been a mainstay as we have worked through a myriad of challenges. Your years of experience has helped us successfully shape agenda policy and has had a lasting impact on the agency's direction. Your
no shit, for the worst.
Paramount. This was recently evident when you stayed on past your term to help the board and the agency through the selection of our new general manager.
I told you they were going to keep him there. I told you they were going to make sure he stayed there for that. And the whole thing turned out to be a fraud anyway. So sick of it. This place is such a criminal organization, folks. It really is. It's just as bad as every other governmental unit. The purpose of government is crime. And that's what it is, man, okay?
Which created a temporary delay for which we are all grateful.
Yeah, not me.
We cannot thank you enough for your expert guidance.
It's been one unending, basic wall, and the biggest cause always, get the most. And if that's the kind of society you want, then you want to love the one you have.
And that's what it is. And that's what it is. I mean, the purpose of government is crime since the founding of the Second Republic, and the biggest hogs get to the top. That's why we have people like Trump at the top, why we have people like Obama at the top, and why we have people like Biden at the top. They're the worst of the worst, and we get the worst of the worst at the top of these agencies. And that includes Warner. He's got pensions, all over the place. He's worked in Portland. He's worked in Beaverton. He's one of the biggest shits that got to the top. And it takes a psychopath to make it to the top.
Consensus building, compassion, and most of all, your friendship. Now you can finally transition off the board and enjoy
The only thing I'll say for him, okay, and I'll give him credit for one thing. He was never rude to me or Lane Jentz. He was never rude, okay? No matter how much we taunted him. He never, but that's why they put him in there. Because he could handle that, okay? He could handle all of this. That's why they stuck him in this job. But I have no respect for him because he was president when they destroyed the Union. And he was president when they destroyed the rioters, the Fairless Square, and all of it. He's defended all of this ridiculous fair. He's been a defender of every general manager. Well, he's two of them. Now three. All three were trained by the guy before them.
your retirement to the fullest. Thomas Kim is ready to pick
Bruce Warner has his own LLC, by the way. I wonder what kind of contracts he's got. Lots, I'm sure.
up the torch for District 1, and we will continue the important work you have dedicated nearly a decade to advance. Please, Bruce, accept our sincere thanks and gratitude, and we wish you heartfelt congratulations on this momentous day. We would like to formalize our appreciation of your tenure with a resolution in your honor.
Yes, of course.
Which I will read now.
Yes, of course, of course.
Resolution 21-0624 of the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon, honoring Bruce Warner for his service as a member of the Trimet Board of Directors. Whereas the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon, better known as Trimet, and its Board of Directors.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Were called board.
Here's what he is. See, look, they got it right here. Okay. Here's they got Bruce, they got Warner's fucking resume right here. Whereas, while engaged in a career of transportation, land use, and management, Bruce Warner has 40 years of cronyism in public works, public administration, economic development, affordable housing, land use, transportation. Whereas, the former crony capitalist for the Portland Development Commission, Bruce Warner was responsible for the overall leadership and management of the Crony Capitalist Redevelopment Commission. Whereas, as the former director of the Oregon Department, he was a ODOT, and ODOT is the most corrupt agency in Oregon, for those of you who don't know that. Whereas, as a former director of the Oregon Department of Transportation, director of Land Use and Transportation for Washington County, City of Hillsborough engineer building official, and Chief Operating Officer and Director of Regional Environmental Management at Metros. This guy has been everywhere. What job hasn't he had? Bruce Warner acquired a broad range of expertise relating to cronyism, corruption, and implementing crony capitalism.
Board wish to honor Bruce Warner for his dedicated, outstanding service to Trimet as president and member of the board.
No.
Whereas, while engaged in a career of transportation,
She's going to read this whole
land
fucking
use
thing.
management, Bruce Warner gained more than...
Go ahead, move it for you.
Whereas, over his 9+ years of service...
All right, wait, there's more. Whereas, since February 2012, Bruce Warner served as president of the Trimet Board February 2012. This is now the end of June 2021. That's 9.5 years. 9.5 years, a year and a half past his... The terms are supposed to be 4 years, and you can be renewed for one term. And you're supposed to be the chairman of the board for only 2 years. You're supposed to rotate chairmanship of these boards. And they have not done that. They've let him be there. Whereas Bruce, as president of the board, generously contributing and applying his extensive professional, managerial, practical experience of cronyism, projects, challenges, community investments, and completion of the Orange Line at Titicaca Bridge, securing years of steady funding through what? Renewal of Trimet payroll tax? Shit, yeah, all kinds of taxes that you pay for and you get nothing back. Decriminalization. You did not decriminalize the fare evasion. That's a lie. AAA bond rating. Fuck that. Yeah, the largest disadvantaged business. I don't know anything about that.
Chris Warner.
Move it up.
Certainly, I know on his part, it's been a labor of love. And I think he's made board members feel
Look, he's got his bow tie on today.
Commitment and dedication. And it's because he set the example and he set the bar.
Oh, God. Jesus! Right, listen to this.
But at the same time, he's been always encouraging.
All right, move forward. I don't want to hear it. Move it up.
Well, and I have to give you much more to be
let's listen to Ozzy because he's such a fucker.
proud of.
Oh, I missed
Thank
Ozzy.
you.
All right, go back. We'll go listen to a little bit of Ozzy here. Our favorite Twitter.
Clear that you're
Ozzy calls us a cesspool. That's how Ozzy views the public. We're the cesspool. And he wonders why he got creamed in the mayor race.
walking away with a lot of fantastic institutional knowledge. You've seen this organization through feels like lifetimes as far as its sense of purpose, its sense of self.
Oh, fuck you, Ozzy. I don't want to hear it.
The board and
I don't want to hear you either. Get lost.
in terms of standards for who serves as president of
Shut up.
No.
Okay. So, I don't want to say much since I'll probably get choked up and not make any sense.
Okay, I've had enough of this. Turn it off, man. All right, that's enough. Goodbye. See you later. Good.